Hello everyone. Welcome to today's Daily Pitch, 7 of May 2026. Let's dive into the latest economic events, technicals, and see what's moving the markets. Well, a lot is going on in the markets. Let's first look at our economic calendar to see what do we have as pre-planned economic events. Then we will discuss the headlines and we will go over US equities, oil, and gold. It have been for several sessions. I'm using these three because, to be honest, they are the most volatile and I see the most opportunities in these asset classes. Let's have a look. So for today's economic data, we had some meeting in Japan. We have the S&P Global Construction PMI for the UK, which is really lower than expected. It was released. And then during the day, we have the initial jobless claims. So to be honest, in terms of economic data, it's not very important today. What's more important, of course, will be tomorrow, which is the employment data, non-farm payroll, unemployment rate. And if you want a breakdown of these, go to our YouTube channel. I submitted a video making a breakdown, especially regarding the unemployment rate in the US and how this will be affecting the DXY, the dollar index. Okay, so that's it for terms of economic data. Let's move on to the charts and see what's going on. Of course, yesterday we had some pretty aggressive price movement due to some headlines saying that a potential deal that could take place between the US and Iran. And the reflection of this was on the DXY first. Let's have a look. We can see that the DXY had a slight drop here due to the drop in the oil prices. Of course, whenever oil prices is dropping, inflation expectations is dropping and the DXY is dropping. On the other side, we can see that the treasury yields is dropping as well. To the same reason, oil prices are moving down. And as for the VIX, slight move down, no major fear. VIX is still below the 20, so we don't have any new escalations going on right now. Let's go first to the US equities and see what's going on. So starting with the US equities, looking at our last trade idea. Our last trade idea, we were here and then we had some optimistic headlines regarding what's going on in the Middle East, and of course this was reflected positively on the US equities. In addition to that, keep in mind that last week we had the earnings for several big tech companies. This was as well reflected positively, and currently we are at this level. So let's delete this one. This trade idea is not valid anymore. Our next trade idea will be in case we are having additional optimism, I believe, and we see that the price action is retesting the 49,900. I will be looking for the following price action with at least retesting these highs at the 50,500. This is the first trade idea I will be looking for. On the other hand, what if the talks between the US and Iran were not optimistic? In this case, we will have a negative impact on the US equities and we could be breaking below the 49,900, retesting, and our next target could be the 49,000 flat. Keeping in mind, just watch out for the reaction at the 49,500. Here we could see some price reactions taking place, but if this move is supported by the fundamentals I mentioned, some fear in the market, we could be retesting this level once again. The final scenario for me, to be honest, what if we retest again the 50,500? Reaching this level, I will monitor the price action and I want to see either a rejection like this, price rejecting, similar to here, 1, 2, 3 taps and then a move down. Or in case we have a new fundamental catalyst or a new headline showing optimism, we could be breaking higher. And here, as you know, I always mention it, it gets a little bit messy and we could be breaking up to the 51,000 flat. These are the trade ideas I have on the US 30 for now. Couple of areas of interest and that's it. As for the Nasdaq, of course, the Nasdaq is more heavily affected by the tech earnings. That's why we saw a much higher movement. In addition to that, worldwide, not only on the US, whenever we had these headlines related to the optimism, Whenever we had these headlines which are related to the optimism, we saw that the whole tech sector was boosting all the stocks and everything, and this was reflected on the Nasdaq, which currently we are approximately near the 29,000. Let me put it here. This area of interest. Okay, and what are the trade ideas I will be looking for? Looking for Nasdaq with such optimism and risk on environment. I prefer to see some kind of pullback and then continuation. A pullback till this level to the 28,000 will be a great entry, I believe, in case we pull back like this. We rejected and the market optimism is still there. I believe we could be retesting like this or even digging higher to the 29,000 where we could see some profit taking move. So it's very important on Nasdaq to watch out for this level. Another level that I will be monitoring, which is more like an intraday or a lower time frame, will be here. I will monitor in case the price action does the following: retest the 28,400, so signs of rejection, just candles having a lower wick, candle body not closing lower, consolidation, and I will be looking for the following price action. First target is here, and my next target is at the 29,000 flat, which is like a psychological level that we should monitor. But in general, with the current fundamentals in the market is in a risk on environment. We are seeing some optimism. That's why we can see the price action moving as the following. Similar to Nasdaq, of course, the S&P 500. The S&P 500, during our last analysis, we said that we could reject at the 7,200 to the 250, supported by the fundamentals. We broke higher, we retested this level, and we printed this high. So this will be invalidated as well. We will be drawing I will be drawing two areas of interest. Number one, which is of course a psychological one, at the 7,500. The second one will be, I will put it at the 7,400, which we are currently very near to it. And similar to Nasdaq, we will be looking for some kind of reversal, a pullback, and then looking for continuation. So in case we see that the price is failing to break above the 7,400, I would like to see a retest of the 7,300 and looking for the following price action. Keeping in mind that we should be very aware of what's going on in terms of headlines, because one optimistic or one pessimistic headline could shift the whole market structure. Here we are saying that in case the fundamentals are the same, no escalations, everything is going as planned in terms of the talks between the US and Iran, we could be seeing the following price movement. And to be honest, even if the S&P 500 did a deeper pullback to these levels, I will be looking for the following price action as well. The final scenario, what if the continuation move broke above here? A retest. Our next target, a psychological level, of course, will be the 7,500. These are the areas of interest I will be looking for S&P 500. Moving on, let's have a look at oil prices. For oil prices, these are the areas of interest we were looking during our last trade ideas. We can see that some of these areas were holding. The first scenario, we were here, we said that we could retest and move higher. We actually retested the 107, we moved higher, we retested again and moved higher to our next area of interest, and here we started rejecting. After rejecting approximately the 115, we went back to the 107.5 and we started to break lower, retesting our next zone of the 98.5. Currently we are still reacting at this level, so couple of scenarios I will be looking for. Number one, if I see that the price action is failing to break below the 98 and candles are having just a lower wick, I will be looking for the following, with the first area at the 103, because we can see several rejections took place here. It's not a major area, a minor area, but of course it is worth keeping an eye on. In case we have additional demand on oil, more fear in the market, not so much optimism, we could be breaking higher and retesting again the 108. And finally, what if the markets took additional optimism, more fundamentals supporting a peace taking place? We could be breaking the 97.5, and in this case, my next target will be here, the 94 level. So here we are at a very critical level. Watch out, monitor the price action. In case we reject, we could be moving higher to the 103. Finally, guys, let's move on to gold. I will show you a couple of entries I took on gold yesterday. Well, actually, there were 2 sell limits on gold. Let me show you. Before that, if you like our content, don't forget to leave us a like, follow, and subscribe. If you want us to analyze any currency pair, you can type for us in the comment section and we can do the analysis together. Let's move on to gold and see what was our trade ideas, what happened, and what actually took place. During our last analysis, we were here. We said that in case we see a rejection at the 640, we could be moving lower. We actually did so several rejections. I will be zooming in a little bit to 30 minutes. We retested this area. We even broke lower and then moved higher. So it was a little bit messy on gold. Let's delete all these, refine a little bit the areas of interest we are looking on, and see what price action could take place. We can mark this zone as well. And here it is like not a major, but a minor area where we are seeing a reaction. Okay, so the current price action or yesterday's price action that we saw on gold was mainly due to one headline saying that the US and Iran are having a talk and they could have a deal very soon. This was reflected like this on oil prices and reflected positively on gold because of the inflation expectations. From my personal trading ideas, I had 2 sell limits. I had a sell limit here, which was activated and I took a loss. And my second sell limit was at the 690 as well, at this high, which got activated, and I took 2 losses yesterday due to sell limits that got activated. Of course, this is annoying, yes, but the day before I was able to catch a trade from here. I was able to catch a trade from here and took around 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. Here, and we mention it a lot in our education webinars, it's very important, the risk to reward ratio. So although the day before I took one trade, that was a win, yesterday I took 2 losses. In general, I was still in profit. So that's why whenever you take a trade, monitor the risk to reward ratio, and in this case you will be profitable even if your trades have only a 50% win rate. A 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk to reward is very realistic, very doable, and it will protect your capital. Back to our trade ideas on gold. Let's have a look. The first scenario I will be looking on for gold, I will be zooming into the 30-minute time frame, is the following. If price keeps rejecting this level, I will be monitoring the 4,715, and in case we broke lower, I will be looking for these lows to the 4,680. This is the first scenario. The second scenario, in case we start to break higher, I will be looking at the 4,770 or even a little bit higher, like this, to the 4,780. In case price is reaching this level, I will monitor the price action. As you can see here to the left, we have some kind of consolidation. So a rejection like this is possible, and for additional validation, you will be needing a break below here in order to hold further. These are the 2 scenarios I will be looking on for gold. And the final scenario, of course, what if we have some strong bearish momentum breaking below the 4,665. In this case, we could be retesting these candle highs here to the 4,590, or to be more conservative with all the volatility we are having and wicks, I will be looking for the 4,600. So these are the price action and areas of interest for me. I will be looking on for gold. Other than that, in case the price kept consolidating, I will not take any trades. And we have to keep in mind that tomorrow we have the non-farm payroll or the employment data in the US, and this could bring some volatility to us. That's it for our episode for today, guys. Couple of trade ideas. Watch out for the volatility, protect your capital. In case you like our content, don't forget to leave us a like, and we will see you with a new episode soon. Thank you so much for joining.